Hey YouTube, it's Chroah, and I'm going to be playing a few games with the Clownblade deck. So, with Clownblade, you spam Ring Force, and that's what I like about this game. It's Ring Force spam is probably my favorite thing next to fusions. So, I like this deck a lot. Here I'm playing against a deck called Vanilla Pendulums. And, yeah. The reason why it's Vanilla Pendulums is because it doesn't only play Ignites, but there's also vanilla monsters, the dinosaur things, like this one right here, Dragoons of Draconia. So I was pretty confident that I had good back row to stop his stuff, because they're over 1500 attack, and I got super trolled when he dropped the Jinzos. I was super confident when he was going to drop the 1500 higher attacks. I was going to bottomless them all. And then Jinzos just came out of nowhere. So, yeah. When I first saw that, I was like, fuck! It was pretty hectic. So he goes and attacks me for what would have been game if I didn't have the Damage Juggler. Saved my life. This card is amazing. I'm so glad that this card was in my opening hand. I always feel safe whenever it's my opening hand, because if I play against like decks like Chicken Rice, then he's gonna activate that trap card that goes for game, has dropped that, and he rage quits. I haven't done it yet, but it'd be pretty awesome. So here is coming up is a good example of how not to be a player. Because I didn't get a good glance at what he searched out with the pendulum monster that searches out when you attack with vanilla. So I asked if I can see it. If I see it once, it's public knowledge, and I can therefore look at it again. If I ask for it, generally it would be the consensus. But this guy decides to be a douche. So I just say, you know what? Whatever. Let's just continue playing. The best thing about playing against douchebags like this guy is that the best insult to them would be to just beat them. So I went on to stupid mode and just stopped playing on autopilot, and then I started thinking about like every single one I plays in order to beat him as best as I can without the knowledge of what's in his hand. So here comes this guy in action. Now I would have popped the other pendulum because it turns out the pendulum monster in his hand was a scale of 7. So I would have popped the dragon so that way he can't establish his scales. But because I didn't know exactly what his scale was, I popped the ignite, because if I popped the dragon, and if he top stacks ignite, then things would have been a lot worse, because you need 2 ignites in your pendulum zones in order to pop them. And this guy does douchebag move number 2. It says that I milled the Galaxy Cyclone this turn. And he's all like, no, you can't do that. And I'm like, yeah, I can. I charged it the first turn. This is the second turn that Galaxy Cyclone's in the graveyard. He realizes his mistake, and then we continue on with the game. I now have 4 back row set, and he has no Jinzo to make me turn him off. So he establishes his scales, which would not realistically have happened if I paid attention, to be honest. So that's actually also kind of half my fault, is that I didn't really pay attention to what he searched out. And here is his fault for pendulum summoning all of his monsters, and now they all go into the banish. So I give a big, huge middle finger to his play. It wouldn't really have mattered too much anyway, because if he can't get over the hot red, and if he went to his extra deck, then I had 2 nightmares ready for him. So, wow. Now here I decide to Galaxy Cyclone my set Breakthrough, because he's playing mainly vanillas, and I have 2 nightmares set already. So Breakthrough wouldn't have been that useful, and I wanted the Galaxy Cyclone in my graveyard one whole turn so I can activate the next turn to pop his scale, and hoping that he doesn't draw into another scale. Now I could pop my second nightmare here with the second Galaxy Cyclone in order to do the same strategy, but I didn't want to be left with only 1 nightmare set, because I felt like he could do something scary twice in 1 turn. So I decided to just play it slow. Good thing I did, because now I top decked into a Halberd. Now I attacked into his defense position monster to Pierce. Get a free search off. And he's at 400. Now he can't special summon anything to do any cool stuff because my nightmares. He can't switch into attack mode because he's at 400, and he can't put anything into defense mode because I'll just pierce through it and then go through the game. So basically, no matter what happens, I win. He doesn't want to, lose that easily, and just keeps going on. I'm pretty sure I searched out a Nightmare Trap Hole first turn, so he should know that I have Nightmare set. By this point, he's probably so mad that I'm proceeding to kick his ass, he forgot that I have Nightmare set. So he tries to be cool. So here he searched out a level 4 with the Pendulum Monster. He realistically can't do that because the Pendulum Monster, when you search out, you can only search out level 5 or higher. I straight up just didn't care because I win no matter what anyway. So I didn't want to call him out on it. Because like if I did, then this game would last a lot longer. He would burn back into the deck and search again. And you know what? I had game no matter what happens. So I just proceeded to do that. I let him have that, and yeah, I beat him at 600 life points. So up yours, Mr. Comet Dark. If you're watching this, ha 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 ha. Anyway, let's be mature about this. Here I'm playing against Shaddolls. This is actually a hard matchup for Clownblade because in order to get past their monsters, you have to go into your extra deck. In order to go into your extra deck, you have to special summon more than once, and if they have window out, it's really difficult. But luckily I have breakthrough here, so window's not a problem. But if I go into my extra deck, then his Shadow Fusion's live again. So it's really kind of difficult to not go into my extra deck. So here I set 4, he MSTs. Thankfully he hits the 2 most worthless cards against Shaddolls because Nightmare isn't that good against window at all. So it only really hurts Construct, but then you get search off the Construct. I'm just glad he didn't hit my Emptiness. And the Lance is kind of there just to, I don't know. He'll stop something eventually, I think. Actually the Lance is pretty useless because he ends up using Dragon on it anyway, so, Either way, I will have lost it. So he flips Falco, and then I banish Breakthrough so he doesn't special. And then he activates Book. I don't know why he didn't just chain the Book to the Breakthrough. I just assumed that he was just a bad player. Yeah. Generally, I like to upload games where it has like the least amount of mistakes possible because I like the games to be like as awesome and like action-packed as possible. But you'll see pretty soon that I get a pretty cool playoff. I just want to show it off. Because I know like hundreds of people in the comment section are going to be all like, why doesn't he do this? Why did he just do this? Because, you know, YouTube's cancer. No offense to you guys who aren't cancer, but YouTube's basically cancer. And here's kind of my fault. I summoned Raiden, and I know too, I didn't really wait for a response. So he activates the Phoenix Chain to my attack. I don't know if he meant to do that or not, but you know, whatever. So now I have Raiden that's Phoenix Chain, so I proceeded to turn it into a Potamuse. I didn't want to get a Kagetokage because I want Potamuse here so I can stop his Shadow Fusion from milling from the deck. And therefore, if he activates Shadow Fusion, he would have to fuse the Squamata and the Falco to make Winda, and Winda can't get over the Diamond, which I would make from the Potamuse. Okay, so Potamuse here was the best play. But he didn't have Shadow Fusion, he had to be less. So, So here I was forced to make a play. I turned the Potamuse into a Pleiades to bounce his ELS back to his hand because he didn't have any more lights in his graveyard. If he had more lights in his graveyard, I would have activated, I don't know what I would have done to be honest. I would have... Doesn't matter, it already happened. So I top deck into a Murmillo, which I'm kinda happy. Well actually if he had another light in the graveyard, I probably would have done something where I would have to discard the Perform Mage to make my damage to 0. Therefore, I would have it in the graveyard so I can make some cool play. So he has the level 6 on field. Okay, Sun Raiden, and I hope to meet a guy, which I actually did mill one cool guy, so that's cool stuff. And here I go into a red dragon. Yeah, I could make it 1-on-1, but 1-on-1 doesn't really matter. Because if I made a 1-on-1, then he could go into window from a Shaw fusion, and then he would have ran over the 1-on-1. But if I made a red hot, then he would have to go into a construct, and then, you know, I'd rather deal with a construct than a window. So, you know, I make more cool turn plays, and then I just go to Gaga Samurai, and then I just proceed to smite the rest of his life points away. Oh right, if he made a window instead of construct, and have bombless for the construct, so that's why I did that. Hot Red is a really cool card. He's very underrated. I like him a lot. I make him a lot more often than I should. So here I mill pretty good, and I search out the Hat Tricker. I honestly don't know why people choose to play only 2 hats. I love this card. It's my favorite card in the deck. I just... it's like... it's free level 4 in the field. Sure, you can't use it for his turn because you only have like 1 summon, but like majority of the time there's gonna be more than 2 monsters in the field. And yeah, it's just awesome. But anyway, it's people's preferences. If they play 2, they play 2, whatever. So I proceed to do that and that. So he plays swords, that threw me off. But I ripped into a Dionia, and the previous turn I milled a Miralo, so I was like, awesome! And there's the milled Galaxy Cyclone. So, I had a choice to summon Dionia and then pop the swords, but I choose to make a much cooler play instead. So here I go into a Amaterasu, and then I do my favorite play in the deck, which is makes a special that, he specialist comes back, comes 1000, overlay into a rank 4, which is gonna be a King Pro Imp. So I make this play because if I make like a play where I can attack this turn, it won't be game. He'll still be alive, and that set might be a problem. Don't know yet. So I decided to wait a turn, so Galaxy Cyclone can pop the swords, and then the Dionia can bring up Mirror to pop the face down. And then I have all these level 4s in my hand to make sure it's game next turn. If he gets rid of this field, then I would be able to get back over his next field. So like, you know, overall, I just think this is a better play. I don't need to attack every single turn. I'd rather just set up for like the game next turn and make sure that, you know, I don't lose next turn. Anyway, so here he makes Ultros to pop my Amaterasu. I chain, attach, get back damage juggler. He dies. He attacks into the Pharaoh Imp, and then I check to see in my graveyard if I have 1000 Blades. I didn't. And I replaced the King with the Clown, so another level 4 in the field. So now he has a useless call, and okay, he makes a diamond to turn off my Kage basically. And even if it doesn't, then I still win. So I decide to go off this turn because I have all these level 4s in my hand. So Dionia pops the face down. He does not chain the bombless because he can't. Ha ha ha. And then I pop the swords. And then now I just lay down my entire hand. I try to think of like the coolest way to do this, but I decided to just make it basic and just go rank 4, punch his face in, punch his face in. So the diamond does nothing. I mean, even if like it stayed in, even if he didn't make a diamond, I'd still have game, so it did not matter. So I special the Trick Clown, and the hat mediates the damage that Trick Clown would have done to me. And then I would have specialed the other hat to make another rank 4 to proceed the space in, but it did not happen. Alright, so here, I generally only like to upload games that are not one-sided, because one-sided games are boring to watch. I like the interaction back and forth. But in this one, I just wanted to show off this right here that's gonna happen. He activates Crush Card to get rid of my Halberd. I was like, okay, sure. There's nothing in my hand that's 1500 or higher. And then I proceed to mill my Perform Mages. So I just really wanted to show you guys that legitly Crush Card Virus is not a good card anymore. Like, at all. Because it used to be good against like Necros, but now Necros guys are playing the Perform Mage engine because it's really fancy and cool. But like, I don't know, Crush card, it's not good anymore. And so he changed his Grieving Fiend to my Trick Clown, so I don't get its trigger effect. And he mills his Scar, and then I proceed to activate the Damage Juggler that I just destroyed from my deck to continue off my play. Oh wait, no, I don't do it yet. I have not normal summoned this turn, so I activate Rhoda, add my Assault Halberd, special, and then you can kind of see where it goes from here. I successfully milled the Thousand Blades, which is kind of what the mill engine's for. And I summoned the Raiden. I don't mill anymore because there's actually no more point in milling, because like all the stuff that won my graveyard is already in my graveyard, so I don't want to mill the cards that like are useful. And I make a Abyss Dweller, and then I just mutate him. I had no fear with the Abyss Dweller because of the Lance, so if he activates that Karma Cut or whatever, then I'll just chain Lance, and then haha. Okay, so here I'm playing against Zefras. And this is actually pretty cool because I have very little experience in playing against Zefras because they have so much text that I can barely remember what they do. I mean, I might one day actually fiddle with Zefras because the best way to learn a deck is to actually play it. So I might, fiddle with Zefras a little bit in the future. But it seems like the kind of deck that's really hard to be unique with. Because they seem kind of like stupid linear. I don't know, I haven't tried it too much yet, but I'm just looking at it. So here I proceed to make a rank 4. Now again, I don't know what the Zefras do, so I was debating on either Exitoning to get rid of his Pendulum Scales and his field, or I can just Castell his Ying Zing guy so he doesn't get a search off for like creation or whatever. But then I figured that if he searches out creation, Ying Zing creation, I have the Vanity's Emptiness, so it wouldn't be that big of a problem. But I guess it turns out that he doesn't play creation, so he searches out the Orca, or the Orco of Zefra. Here's where I kind of realized that, wait, he searched out Zefra Exciton last turn, and then he searched out Orca. So now he's able to reestablish his Pendulum Scale. And then that's when I'm like, I should just Castell. Yeah, that probably would have been a better idea. Oh well, live and learn. So, he double knocks with his Exciton into my Exciton, then things get killed. I would change Exciton's effect, but have one more card above him, so it wouldn't have done anything. So, like I said, he reestablishes his scale, busts out his extra decked Pendulum monsters, gets another search off. Yeah, it gets pretty hectic from here. So he searches out his equivalent of Eternity Barrier, and then now I can't activate any effects. Enjoy. So here I top decked into Raiden, which is actually the card I really wanted to top deck into because he's a tuner, and the biggest beat stick in the extra deck is a Synchro. So I summon Raiden, do not activate his effect because I don't want him to hit the graveyard, then special the hat, and then make red. And then I attacked into his lowest attack monster. And yeah, when you're playing against Pendulums, you don't really care about you do kind of care about what you kill, because it does come back when you get effects. But from my knowledge, the only monster that gets his effect when he hits a field from Penduluming is the Ying Zing. But it doesn't matter because he makes Boxy. And he targets my Hot Red and my Breakthrough. So I chained Breakthrough, and then he changed his Barrier, or Divine Strike, and then I lose all my cards. And it's a counter trap, so I can't shoot my Boundless, so yay! And then he proceeds to do some more cool stuff. He Pendulum Summons. I activate Boundless because it's not going to do anything else for ever. And then he activates his Ying Zing guy again to search out his other barrier. And then he attacks. I don't have Damage Juggler to stop any of it. And he makes a... Oh, he activates Box's effect, specials the tuner, synchros into BLZ. that was pretty dang cool. So yeah, basically I lost this game, and so I'm gonna talk into a Raigeki in a few seconds, which does absolutely nothing. So that basically means I just lost. So yeah, there you go. So yeah, this is games with Trick Clown. If you guys enjoyed it, have a good day.